Action. And hello. I'm Dan Lutz, and I'm here with,
Okay.
and we're here on the front lines in the battle against the deep state, the Lumadonkeys, and all those others that wish to enslave us for their own selfish reasons, and we're here to stop them. And stop them we are. So,
Yes, indeed.
yeah, how's it going, Tank?
Oh man, everything's wonderful. You know, things coming together. I had a 2.5 hour conference call with Kim today that was pretty amazing. You know, she expounded on many things as we were working on this new system to basically restore financial sovereignty to people. Kind of giving people control of their own money, absent the banking system. So I think that's pretty great. And she expounded on many things. You know, she cracked a code yesterday that that they've used to block us probably 1,000 times, and I don't think they ever thought she figured it out. And she tracked it down, and then they just found out today around 2 o'clock that they don't have control of the front of their system anymore. So I'm celebrating. I actually wish I had videotape of their reaction when they realized that gig's up, boys, because they don't have control anymore. So that's pretty exciting. So I would say that the inevitable consequences of that is the liberation of humanity, and they'll have to kind of stand there and realize they're just regular.
Yeah,
and I'm sure they'll be punished in other ways too. But
hopefully they'll be chased down the street with pitchforks.
You know, we were in this incredible conversation, and the guys we were talking to, really smart guys, and they, one guy said, well, you know, isn't the universe ever expanding? And Kim said, actually, it's been in a spiral implosion for thousands of years. It was only reversed, right? So now it's actually spiraling back out to expand within the past 6 weeks. I thought that was pretty incredible.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. Yeah. So it's just like a flower, you know, or plant. It's either growing or it's dying.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, we're grow with abundance. We're expanding outwards. You know, this aspect of to contract things. If you look in a lot of the movies and that, there's always this dark overlord from the dark regions of some void in space that is like upset that everything is like so like growing and expanding over there, and he wants to like reverse that. Right? It's like this common theme. It's like, is it really that way? Is it really that they just like are so upset with the growth and happiness and abundance that they just need to stop it?
Actually, it's that they cannot generate life themselves. They can't generate their own energy, so they have to devour others, right? So, you know, we're talking about these three groups today that have basically been devouring the universe for all these years, right? And having all these different planets that have just been, you know, taken hostage, and different groups that are here. You know, like Mars, right? Like, used to be a thriving population, and Mars is a dust planet they destroyed, right? And you have Martians that are Martians, I guess. I don't know if that's the appropriate term. So any Martians out there, I apologize. But
hey, you called us Martians.
Yeah,
where's
like
my ray gun? I get my ray gun out, you know.
Yeah, but there's lots of folks from Mars that are here in exile, or not exile, but you know, to escape, you know, what happened on their planet.
Refugees.
You know, refugees. That's yeah. I mean, I guess there's some life under the planet, but not, you know, nothing compared to what it was, obviously. She talked about you know, beings on Saturn being the kind of, you know, that's kind of the correlation. And she talked about all these different mythological figures, right? You know, that they're, you know, they're portrayed as gods, but in reality they're just beings that did this. They did different things to enslave us, whatever. And talked about you know, the planet for 150,000 years thriving, you know, before it was hit by a meteor, and you had the Great Deluge. Pretty amazing stuff, you know, tore the whole planet up. And then you had these draconian mantis Anunnaki come in, and they basically you know, offered to fix everything up for us in return for putting the planet under martial law, and we've been under martial law ever since.
Yeah, it's like
until, you know, the past couple of years, because we actually have a peace treaty now.
Yeah.
But it's really incredible. I'm always very happy to be on those conversations. You know, and it's always amazing to me the credentials that people have on the call, and then also I'm there. You know, it's just so funny, and I'm always so grateful. And I never show that, like, you know, I'm probably the only one who doesn't really belong here, but I'm so happy to be there and just absorbing the information and just blown away by it. Really incredible stuff. And it really makes you, it's very humbling to realize the vastness of the universe, and, you know, even our own abilities of things that we can do, and what, you know, how important our planet is actually in the greater scope of things. And what's happening in the universe, you know, overall, like, you know, and that's just exciting. You know, she talked about this too, how there's these PSI fields. I'm not sure what that means, but I guess it's like something that caused, you know, like some disruption in our frequencies, right? Mm-hmm. And caused us to fight with each other constantly, and these were underneath the surface, and they've been turned off, but only again for about 6 weeks, right? So now you're seeing people, you know, we should see people coming together in that
Yep.
not fighting about things.
Well, I hope that the events that are in California, where California is trying to not be together, leave the union, become a. I mean, it seems to me like it was sold off by the Clintons to China, to communist China. So, there's still a lot of reports of what's going on there. Even reports of troops in Canada, Chinese troops under the UN in Canada. There's a lot of sightings. I mean, this is happening, by hundreds of people that are showing these things. They're happening. The ports in that area of Oakland are now shut down. Miramar also is shut down, or at least there's no activity going on there. And you just don't shut these things off, right? It's ongoing, and the power is still off. And why is it still off?
Right.
Why? And then the fires that they claim, or the reason, there's video from the weather satellites showing that they were explosions that were set off in sequence in different areas, right? I mean, relatively within, seconds of one another, like, over here, boom, 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 and then over here, boom, boom, boom.
Well,
and then,
plus P&G shut the power down before the fire started.
Right.
And then the fire started all at the same time. What is there? There was like 5 explosions that happened. Across
different areas.
200 miles.
It was, So it's obviously is meant to cause an issue in which California can then claim, hey, we need help. We're bankrupt, right? They have no money, and they need help. And Trump is cut them off. So where are they going to get money from? Oh, UN, we need help. And here's the Chinese. And then they take over, right?
Well, I can tell you how that's going to be a failed plan, because the United Nations has no money. They were just talking about how they, like this is you're starting to see what we've been talking about for a year,
right?
Manifest into the physical reality, right? We've been saying for a year the United Nations doesn't have access to money, and they don't have money. So now they're making claims that if people don't pay their dues, because the UN is like the local bully, right?
Right.
They come in, they rough you up to the IMF, they hold back your funds to the World Bank, and they poison you with the World Health Organization, right? They're the trifecta of douchebag, right? Like they hit all factors of like the worst possible friend you could ever have, right? And then they do it all under the name of humanitarian efforts, right? Which the word humanitarian, you can look it up. It actually goes back to the law of war, which basically dictates what's acceptable treatment for people, humans, during times of war. Well, we're not in a time of war anymore. So the United Nations attempts to take over the world and bring everybody under one government, which in and of itself really wouldn't be a bad thing if it wasn't diabolically hateful animals doing it, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't need to bring everybody under one nation. You can have the world united under a common purpose based on natural laws, just things that we all value, right? We don't all have to do things the same way. But lo and behold, what's the United Nations going to do? Nothing. They have no money. What are they going to do? Come in with,
I think maybe it's under the idea of the United Nations, but it's really Chinese and Chinese people, which they don't require money. They just print whatever their RMB, and they send their people where they want them to go. So, if they're already there, there's talk of there being already 1 million people throughout the U.S. of Chinese that have been there, right? So. If that number is real or not, I don't know, but a lot of people are saying that's the number, right? That they've been moving people through these ports for a long time. QAnon had also pointed out, ports, especially Long Beach Port, and made references to, these type of things, and also China. So, it's obviously there's something happening right now. It's not like maybe it's going to happen, or it's like they have plans to do it. No, it's in action, right? So this is not a normal thing. They also, this staging area that's in the area that I used to go through quite a lot, through this kind of like the center, old highway system 101, goes up through an area called Gilroy, through Big Sur, and it ends up in this one region just south of of Silicon Valley, and that apparently there is a deep underground base access there, and there's also been reports of staging for these troops to be there. It's also now Trump's calling up the military, the Marines. It's now, the word is from several sources that it's 10,000 are going to California.
Well, good.
Yeah. So
it's a good start. I mean, who knows? I mean, cheap Christmas. Like, please turn off the mind control in California. I mean, but it's funny. This is all a big myth, right? All the anti-Trump, thing. Most people, really think are coming around. Like, the more they're told they're not supposed to support Trump, the more people that do. And I think a perfect example is in Minneapolis, right, where Ilhan Omar and the mayor there said there's no support for Trump in this district, and he blew out the stadium with 20,000 people inside and 25,000 people outside in Minneapolis of all places, which they were trying to scare people. Like, there's so much violence, and there's lots of violence going on because you got Antifa there, and then they've got video of Ilhan Omar with her, married lover, and this big, sorry, that was too much emphasis on the word big, on this heavyset woman with green hair, who apparently sits on the House of Representatives, Congress for the state of Minnesota. And they were all at the Antifa pep rally, where they talked about, hey, we're going to mix glue with, pepper spray and put it in milkshakes and dump it on people's face because that's the kind of guys we are, right? And Gorilla Glue or whatever. Anyway, Ilhan Omar was there. I mean, they got videotaping for there. And at the same time, you had Trump come in and blow out, broke the stadium record for number of attendance, right? And in the area which is like the battlegrounds for, the most prominent display of this, it's really not liberal, so I want to stop using that term, but for this deep state terrorist army that is infiltrated into our government. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, deep state. It should be like worldwide deep state, and how, as it is something that spans around the world, and it is all done through the C_A clowns, across the world. I mean, this is an architecture that was put into place to control the world, including the United Nations and World Banks and IMF, and it's a coordinated effort by this group that now they lost their leader, and the new leader they don't want to listen to.
Well, what's so fascinating to me about everything with this, right, is at the linchpin of everything has been the money, right? So you convince everybody that you need money to survive and do whatever, and then now, their biggest weapon, all these down in Haiti, they have these mercenaries there, right? And allegedly they promised these mercenaries, or they paid the mercenaries $1 million a piece, to be mercenaries against Haiti, right? Now, if that's $1 million in, probably super notes, right? What do they care? It's not real anyways. It's just paper. So, it might look like $1 million, and maybe it costs $100 to print it up in paper.
Yeah.
And they don't. And none of those guys don't have anything. They're killing off the people they grew up with.
Yeah.
So they can be a shot caller. So.
I had another thought. This little tangent there, but it was. I was just thinking, if Kim, when she came in, and took over, she should have played the part of the Dark Queen from the underworld, right? And just came in and to them and said, "On your knees," right? And then start commanding them to do these things all with the goal of the good goal. We're going to be giving out all the money to all of these people, and we're going to see what they're going to do with it.
Right. No, that's a good point. Like,
you know,
gonna play this thing a whole different way, right?
Yeah, then they would have like, oh, we better listen to her, right? She sounds
she's really evil.
So I don't know.
I heard she's married to the devil. I heard she's married.
Oh. It really is the devil's wife. Dun, dun,
it's not just a code. This is who it is. Who knew?
She's shown up. We've been waiting. We've been waiting all this time, and she's here.
Yeah, finally happened. Yeah. Hooray!
Yeah, and the new rituals, right? No more babies.
Oh, jeez. We're all becoming vegetarians. She really is evil.
And that, I go along with that one. Let them all become vegetarians.
Yeah. Like, you're allowed to stay, but you have to become a vegetarian. And you have to live in the very same projects that you want to build 25 million tiny homes in Mexico. You have to live there. So, it's perfect.
Yeah. So, anyway, just, it was just, it's crossed my mind. It was like, could have been played a different way. I was just imagining, I saw, you ever see this, it's the Star Trek Voyager, when they were on the holodeck, and they were playing like the like Flash Gordon type stuff was going on, and then Janeway playing like the Spider Woman Queen, right, with the black dress and I don't know if you remember that one, but
no, I used to love it.
Yeah, but anyway, that was
used to geek out. That's cool.
Yeah, it's like I was just thinking that would be like the dress for her to wear.
Spider Queen, yeah. No, I mean it's all really amazing right now, to be honest, because
well, it played out well. I mean, we're here. We won. We're at the start of a new age, and the universe is expanding outwards, and it's going to be these things tend to go in kind of a exponential curve, right? So it kind of like starts off slow, but then any moment that you're in it, it kind of looks flat, but it's really, nosebleed speed heading upwards.
Yeah, and I would say, Kim is, she did just text me a few minutes ago about, she'd be shutting things down, locking them down for the night, and she's like, it's full moon, so you expect them to do something, right? They're going to try to, when you have these different alignments happen, there is more energy available, right? You can make things happen, good and bad. Mm-hmm. So I say we all just, keep our energy very focused on all the good things we want to happen, because, it's not like they're going to roll over and die, right? I mean, I'm sure they are going to roll over and die eventually, but it's going to be, still a bunch of games, and
well, I wonder what they're going to do right now. They go to the water cooler and hang out and say, "What are we going to do?" They've got, this. They don't have access to the screens. They don't have that control. But now everyone's still going to be coming to them as if they still do have that control. Right, and they need to act the part, because that's part of the game that they've played all this time anyway. Is that they act more than they are, right? No matter what, like they're the end of everything, right. They'll be all of everything, like Shift, for example.
Well, what was one of my favorite things I heard Kim say with past few days, right? Is that she instantaneously, like, they asked her to move money. I gotta think they've been asking the Rothschild Chinese elders, right, to move money nonstop, and they keep claiming that they have control, and then something happens, right, for like 10 years now, right? They've been failing over and over and over again. So, they came to terms with Kim, right, and then within 20 minutes, Kim moved money, right? And so they were kind of in shock that it happened so quickly, right? Because it had just become normal to have negotiations and have nothing happen, right?
Right.
And here Kim is. Kim's not like that. Like Kim's like, she moved. So she got it done. She moved it right away. And then they're like, well, we need these codes, right? And these are the gatekeeper pieces, I guess. And she provided those within 20 minutes, right? And so it's like, wow, like that worked. It's like, that's how it should work. The whole idea that it's going to take so long to do everything. Kim has reprogrammed their entire system that took them thousands of years to build, in 7 years, by herself. It's really, really incredible. And she was talking about this today, like, one of our problems is we all look for a savior, right? And while we're looking for a savior, what it prevents us from doing is prevents us from looking within and looking to see what is it that I bring to the table, what do I have to offer, how can I change the situation, right?
Right.
And we spend so much time looking at problems that we miss solutions that are around us all the time. So I'm hoping that tonight in this world of corrupt bankers and spineless men and all these cowards that are out there pushing the transhuman, which is really an anti-human, pro-destroy the planet agenda. I think they're all realizing we're not actually connected the way we thought. Like when you think you have like a really good connection, and then like you find out like they're just like the branch manager of a bank, and you thought they were like the CEO of Bank of America or something. It's like they're not as important as you thought, right?
Right.
That's what they're all experiencing right now. They're all going through the reality of we're not as important as we thought.
Right. And then, so then they're going to end up, going through this 5 stages of grief. Right. So hopefully some of them will get through that quickly.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that they're coming to those realities very quickly, because the peace treaty that's signed, right, and the way that it is set up is that we the galactics should live here. Now there was the 5 tribes we talked about, right?
Right.
And they had, now this is old stuff, right? But these 5 tribes, now they control like the 5 regions of the earth, right? And so each of them had their own region. They dealt with their people in that region, and they each had like a portal they were trading with other planets and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
Then you had these 3 others come in, and basically over time they just took over everything, and essentially they closed the other 5 portals, and then they just opened the 3 portals that went back to their planets, and then they stopped trading and they just started taking. Right?
Ah.
And they just kept taking everything.
Well, that makes sense. I haven't heard this before, actually. So, of course, I heard the 5 tribes. I didn't know about the 3 other portals, or that was their MO. As they stopped helping and they just started trading. They stopped trading, and they just literally just start taking, because they just convinced everyone. Dumbed everyone down about what's actually was the past and what else was going on, and the state of war always kept people in a not from being able to focus on what's really going on and what they should be focused on.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And like so that was part of their somehow they finagled that in there, I guess, over time. But that was really interesting. I never heard that either. But it was really fascinating, and it makes a lot of sense, right? So you have, trading stops and taking begins. I mean, they call us, consumers and eaters, right? But really, they're the consumers,
right?
And all they're doing is just constantly consuming.
They're parasites.
And that's exactly, yeah, right.
Right. So then that's all parasites do. And the things the parasites want, they train the body to put out for them, or to get for them. So if it's like changing the atmosphere, to something more comfortable for them. They just keep modifying it, think so it's for their own comfort, their own uh, comfort, their own physiology.
Right. I mean, so you have your oxygen that is 30% less than what it should be in the environment, right? But that has nothing to do with people breathing too much, right?
Right.
That has to do with the combustible engines, the fact that they use a bacteria that is really for. I mean, we're the only beings that use bacteria as fuel, right? Like, oil is waste to the planet, and it's constantly being pushed out. Like, it would be given away if we didn't use it for fuel, you know. So.
Yeah, I always looked at it kind of like it's kind of like it's like your body creates natural oils, right, for your body to operate. It's the same with the planet, right? It created these oils, from aspects of things. So you could call it waste, but it's stuff that's been recycled to do things, and maybe it's carrying waste out. It's like your blood carries waste, but mostly it's CO2, which is the body needs to put out so that the plants can use it as not a pollutant, but as what they breathe.
Right. I mean, everything consumes something else, right? So, I mean, everything. Like, we have a symbiotic relationship that's peaceful on the planet. It should be, anyways.
Right.
So that all has to be restored, and it's going to take work and innovation. And really listening to Kim talk about it today. It's so the galactics that are here, though, they are helping us, right? They're intervening with various things. Kim was talking about how, it was a frequency weapon that actually disabled the Chinese military in Pakistan, their military equipment, right? So nobody was hurt. Nobody got hurt.
Right.
But their equipment didn't work anymore. So from what I understand, they basically had to walk back across the borders of whatever. So, which I just thought, how genius is that?
Right.
But every time you go to bring a fight, you just get disabled. You just, nope. That's not going to happen. Like, no time for that. We just don't have time for that. So no matter what they try, it keeps getting derailed, right?
Right.
Then you have the public display, and President Trump kind of gets to come out and look like a rock star, which that's fine. I think that's
yeah.
fine.
I mean, he is a rock star.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So,
he's an amazing. I mean, he's literally. Who else could have done this if you would think about it? I can't imagine Gingrich doing this, but I love Gingrich, as a leader, right? I would have voted for him as president because, he did the contract for America. He basically told the Congress, well, you have to abide by the same laws we put on everyone else, and things like that. It's like this is good leadership, right? But I don't think he could have stood up, to all of this stuff simultaneously as Trump has. Trump is taking on everything at the same time in this wonderful tapestry, of like getting, setting these plots. Like QAnon said, watch the fires, watch California. They're talking about these things, a year ago. So it's like they know what their plans are, right? And they say these people are stupid because they're going to continue to do the same thing because they can't change their plan. They're not thinkers. They're not critical thinkers. They're just they're parasites in themselves, right? They just go with the plan.
Yeah, they're devouring themselves and each other, everything else. But it's this stuff is all just. Like, today, the things that I was just listening to Kim talk about, and she was doing all this, to explain to guys who were very open-minded, because I've gotten off calls with Kim where people, they act like they understand, and they pretend, and they go and they call their Rothschild controller, right? And I imagine them kind of like that little troll guy from Lord of the Rings, right? Like calling them up and be like, whatever you want, master.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of how they are.
Well, I imagine more like that guy that's worm tongue. He's like a worm. He's a parasite. He just like slithers and says like sweet things and tries to control the monarch, right, by just words. All right.
Oh yeah, pomp and circumstance. Yeah, the advisors to the king.
And the advisors, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be advising them of anything.
All right. So, is this next step, whenever it executes, I'm just gonna enjoy every second from here on out. I've decided, because as anxious as I can get about this stuff, right?
I'm saying I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I'm very, very much looking forward to, actually looking forward, actually being forward,
Actually taking those steps, on that, like I was excited yesterday, but I also spent, the whole day yesterday, as well as I've been doing every day, working on this new, this new plan, right? And it has, the possibility of creating a system that would help people, out of poverty, right? And
sure.
But I'm taking those steps. I mean, I'm working on it. Just because the money is already sitting there, and there's success, it doesn't mean I'm stopping. Because as soon as the money is actually in an account that I can use, I still have to have the plan and need to know who's going to be contacted and so on, right?
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
No, and that's what you have to do. I mean,
you have to keep going forward. You got to
stay the course.
Don't stop. Don't wait. Don't wait. Stop waiting. Stop GCRing yourself.
GCRing yourself, right? Exactly. Revalue your own worth. Don't wait for someone else to tell you what it is, right?
Yeah. So,
yeah.
But I am happy and where things are, and we've come a long way. Even the path through the GCR is, it's not, it's a very difficult path to follow from every standpoint, because you're up against a lot of people. Even though you're dealing with people that are substantial people in the world, generals and captains of industry, or people in governments, but but nothing is happening, right? But they're still waiting, just like you are. It's like, why is everyone waiting? Why is this isn't making sense? I mean, but no one wants to go along with that, because they're waiting for this tremendous amount of money, right? And it's just like
it's like you said in the Philippines, right? They value titles.
Yeah.
Right. Nobody really has money, so you got title and support, right? I realize that's the theme around the world. Everybody is a significant person, but the title is what people think is important, right? So you give people these different titles, and they feel more important than other people. But the reality is, the people that are most important in that moment are the ones who are willing to do the work that needs to get done to make progress, And you're right, everybody's waiting. It's like, but I'm like, we're not waiting. We're pushing everything, right? Like, we're pushing buttons, figuring out what things do, figuring out riddles, like broadcasting, starting businesses, anticipating what we think the next move is that's going to be best. and then taking action on it, because that's the only way anything gets done, right? Because if you're shrouded in a cloak of mystery, all you can do if you want to live is to continue to have hope and continue to make progress, so that you start to believe in yourself and figure out what you can do.
Right. Well, and Trump is not waiting. Yeah, he's simultaneously taking on all these people at the same time. Whether the money is in hand from Kim, for him, or it's being delayed or tied up. What did he do? He went. He met with the Emperor of Japan, and then he went and met with the Queen of England. There's deals were struck. Things were happening. Does that mean that everyone has the money in their account? No, but moving forward, then everything changes, and that's what we're experiencing. And we create the reality. We take the steps, and that's why when they want us not to make any steps, to wait, that's because they don't want any other reality other than everyone to basically kill off 90% of the people. It's
Yep. So yeah. So anyways, now is the time. And we're still working to raise money for Haiti, and I had another conference call with them, and working to figure out how to do that, and working with the National Liberty Alliance, and filing lawsuits, because all these things. What we decided to do a long time ago was, whatever we do with no money should be in line with what we plan to do when we have money, right?
Right.
So that there's not such a big disruption when we take our next step forward. Right?
Except for the party.
Except for what?
Except for the party.
Yeah, no, the party is definitely a special kind of party. Man.
We need to have a party, So.
Oh, we were going to have the Create Change ball.
And there you go.
Something a long time ago. They just wanted an excuse to dress up. So I thought, okay.
All right.
Blow it out.
Hey, that's good. I like dressing up.
Kim was talking about on September 21st, right? It was the Declaration of Independence Day for the other galactics that were enslaved here, right? Enslaved here.
Wow.
And they were celebrating, right? Parties and all types of stuff. They were blowing up tunnels all over the place, I guess. And I just thought, wow, really? That's amazing. But who knows? Because they were forced to do a lot of stuff, right?
Right.
And it's Kim that went and approached all of them to figure out, she's like, how'd you get here? And by the time she went through all these different groups of galactics, she realized we were all enslaved here together. So I thought that's pretty fascinating. So, and then she, but they, according to their agreement, and this is what she was talking about, how we have 6 months left.
Mm-hmm.
Well, according to their agreement, they can't leave or take anything off the planet or open these other portals to start trade until we get free, right?
Okay.
Until we're done. So that is comforting me, right? It's like, oh, right, they're here with us. And I appreciate that. But also, we have about 6 months of that agreement before it's like, okay, you guys didn't do it, so now I guess they're taking everything. I'm not exactly sure. Something like that. Basically, off the races. We're biting it out.
So how much? What month is the 6 month up?
I'm not sure the exact time. I mean, she said, 6 months. I think it was pretty general. It wasn't specific or anything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just wondering if we have 4 months left, or.
No, I think it's 6 months from now. I think we're right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. We have an extra.
I would imagine it would be April 21st is what I'm guessing.
That would make sense. Yes.
Total speculation, though. Yeah.
I follow. Yeah, I got that. That kind of works.
But it would make sense, yeah. So it's well, now's the time, right? We gotta right the ship here.
Well,
so
you're right on the verge of California, trying to secede from the union.
Yes.
So
Because what do they think? What I think is funny is, what do they think they're going to do? Right?
they're going to be the
Like you're dealing with
king of the area.
36 other galactic races that live here on the planet who have technology so far advanced that, from what you have, like you've never even broken through the first firewall of the quantum system. What do you think you're going to do? You know? Top of my head.
Yeah, I know.
My
It's,
thought.
I think that they're not really thinking about that. They're just thinking about, their plan, right? This is the same plan. They're just continuing on. They're now they're desperate to make it happen, right? And there's also, if they don't do it, then what are they going to do? It's like, well, okay, Chinese go home. They'll get back in the containers. We'll ship you back one container at a time.
Yeah, you're right. I guess they're thinking, hey, we're just gonna go out fighting and die. I mean, what other option do you have? It's like okay,
I think the Chinese may end up having a problem because if their people have been here for a while, they're obviously get into an understanding of being indoctrinated by the society here, right? I don't know how to keep them segregated. I guess it could have. It's a big country. We're not overpopulated. They could stash 1 million people very easily someplace.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, you wouldn't even know. Like you have whole societies and that would be off the grid, right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, they could have built anywhere. Google could have hit it from the satellites. No.
Right, Google. Yeah, Google's like their version of AI, right? Such a joke. So, anyway, all this is going on. It's all, fun and exciting, I guess. And but I really think that they don't bring anything to the table anymore. It's
right.
It's kind of laughable to me. It's like, okay, he's got this. Now, not to say it's not dangerous. There is danger.
Sure.
But it's like if you see it coming a mile away, right?
Right.
And it's very transparent for the most part, right? And it's like not transparent like they're being transparent. It's just so freaking obvious. It's like, oh, let me guess, you're gonna do this, and then you're gonna take everything, and enslave people, and then you're gonna leverage assets. Yeah, I know. I read about it already, like 100 years ago. That's all you do. So.
Yeah, well, then leverage the assets.
You know what we'll do? We're gonna do something different. This time, we'll put it to a trading platform. Then we'll sell the trading platform. Then we'll use it, make the money. Then we'll sell it back to people as if it hasn't been sold. Whoa, dude. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like Idiocracy. Kim actually mentioned Idiocracy in this movie, which I highly recommend to anyone. It's hilarious, right?
Idiocracy.
It's like this. Yeah, it's like this future where like the dumbest people just kept reproducing, and all the smart people made conservative decisions not to.
Well, that actually occurred here. It's called Communist China.
Yeah.
Well, they killed off
all the intelligent.
Yeah, they killed off everyone that had a brain, and left only farmers, in the military. So that's why they have this idiotic idea of, well, we're gonna now control the world, by social score. They're really proud that they could literally decide to stop people from being able to buy things because of their attitude.
Yeah.
Right.
So what you're going to have, the byproduct of that, right, is people just incredibly fake.
Right. Yeah. No attitudes, no emotion.
Yeah.
Becoming Borg-like drones, right? Oh, you spent too much time, playing with your children. Now they're feeling too much care and nurturing, so you get to buy no more food. Whatever it is,
whatever. Like this is the basis for the meritocracy, right? The question I've always asked is, who decides who has merit?
Me. It's me.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's the point. Everyone who is going to say, well, they're going to put it from their perspective, right? And whoever is in power will be from their perspective, and then having say over others, then you end up abusing it, right? So it's
yeah, I get it though. I do
idiocracy.
get, like, if you really think the way your mentality works, right? Now, if you took that same attitude, it kind of makes sense from a standpoint of, like, like you have these controlled environments, right, where you basically isolated anybody who has an independent business or an independent thought, right? And you can only buy from certain places, and why would you buy from your local store when you can order online for half the price?
Right.
Those unfair advantages, right? And but I kind of get it, because, like, we're gonna do that to them too, like, we're gonna bring in money, and then we're gonna build innovative, incredible products, and then we're gonna have those products work with companies that are also inside our same network that are operating according to ethical, business practices, and we're not going to deal with people that don't have ethical business practices. But but we define what ethical is, right?
Right. Well,
in their world, it's ethical to steal and rob and cheat and abuse people. But in our version of ethics, that doesn't exist. So
we also get into the problem where people are saying, like, what's fair, like, an unfair advantage, because you're getting all your products from China, so they're so cheap. So let me give you kind of an example of Uber, right, in regards to taxis. So Uber is a much better situation, for the consumer, right? You don't have to go looking for a taxi, right? You just put it in the app. It finds the local car. They accept the terms, and they're waiting for you when you get out of the building, right? And
it's awesome, yeah.
Yeah, so it's awesome. So, but according to the taxis, this is an unfair advantage, right? Now, so they actually, here in the Philippines, have basically made a situation where I think that Uber literally sold out to Grab, because they said they could stay here and compete, but they were always getting into these situations with the government, and they're telling them, oh, well, you can't have, we're eliminating the number of drivers you have. You can't have 100,000 drivers. You can have only 50,000. Right.
Right.
But with the drivers here, literally people who have not any ability to work their way out of poverty, right? No way that they would ever own a vehicle, were able to buy a new car because they were an Uber driver.
Wow.
Right? And this is 50,000 people, right? In that group, right? Of people that worked, and not only did they buy the car, they were able to make themselves a living that was probably 4 or 5 times higher than any of the other jobs that you were under contract work here, right? You could only do, you only got paid a certain amount, which was, let's say, $10 a day.
Right.
Right. But if you were clearing $100 a day out of it as an Uber driver, you bought your car, you paid all your expenses, and you walked away with $50. Right. Now, if you were in America, $50 a day, it's kind of minimum, minimum wage, job, that kind of thing, right? You're able to live. But here, this is like a fortune. So you had someone come, this technology come in, do a lot of good, and it was no problem for me ever to get a ride. But now Uber's gone because the government got involved. Uber's, the people in the taxi industry said, it's not fair. We're losing money. Right?
Well, it happened, that in New York, right? One of the things that happened is you have the taxis, right? Which obviously taxis are, probably most famous in New York. of any place, right? And but with the taxis, basically, to be a real taxi driver, an official, one of the gatekeeper blocks they have is any kind of licensing is always a gatekeeper block, right?
Yeah.
So the licensing here in New York, they force cab drivers to buy a medallion.
Right.
Now, medallion is like 500 grand, right? It's really expensive, right? And so it's like a mortgage, right? But you're making your livelihood this way. But you're still working 12, 15-hour days, right? Driving around a car in the least possible healthy environment you could imagine, right?
Right.
But at least you can dictate your income on some level, and you can work harder and work longer hours, I guess. And so that's been the mentality, right? And it was like a kind of a proud thing, like you had your medallion, right? Because you really basically become kind of an independent contractor.
Right.
But like Uber basically came in and completely disrupted the industry.
Right.
So they were very frustrated, and from that standpoint, it's not fair.
That's correct, but it's the aspect of the government getting involved and saying that the taxis had to have a medallion.
Right, that's what's not fair. Exactly. Now, having fair competition to create a better product, that's fair.
Right.
And that's what should have happened.
Yeah. Well,
because the technology changed, and you made better technology, and you integrated it into the cars. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And that's what should happen. Well,
it's the aspect of the government getting involved with trying to regulate things to the death, right? I think that any regulation that a government puts in place should literally have a cap on it, a time limit. So there's reasons for government to come in and say, hey, let's slow some things down here a little bit, or let's consider these other issues that are these people need to be also considered, or this issue has to be considered, and you can put a time limit, right, on something. Right? That would make a bunch of sense. But if you're not, if you just let things go, like you're always you have to get a medallion for it becomes this institutionalized thing that then it also gets out of reach. Most people can't afford a $500,000 medallion, right? So how can, if you wanted to get into that business, you're restricted, right? But it removes the supply and demand. So here with the battle between Uber and Grab was waging. So what was the effect? Well, the cost for the ride for me was less. The service was higher. The people that got the rides were still making good money, right? Maybe it wasn't 5 times the amount. Maybe they were down to 3 times the amount that they would normally make, right? Because of this. But as soon as Uber sold out to Grab and left because they were really forced out, then it was just Grab and the taxis. And so then the taxis, were the Grab actually raised their prices, so now they're more expensive than the taxis here. So who's winning? You don't have as many people jumping into Grab. It's more expensive, less service, right? And the taxis now have their own app here, which is the right attitude, right? Get a taxi app, so that the taxis can be called. But they're still paying the taxi rates, and there's still taxi drivers that don't want to use the app to pay. They want to pay under the table. A lot of problems like that here in the Philippines with the taxi drivers. I have a lot of taxi drivers that refuse to take you places, right? You'll be like 6 cars in a row, and they won't take you. They'll say, "Oh, there's too much traffic."
Right.
Right. I mean, you're on the meter. You're it doesn't matter if there's too much traffic. 3 hours to go. What they just don't want to. They'd rather sit in their car not driving than make money. Things like that.
Right.
So anyway, we're kind of a little bit floating around here on topic. So what else should we cover today? Are we good for the day?
I'm good for today. I think that covers everything we need to talk about. And expect great things, everybody. Expect great things because that's your birthright. So.
Oh, good. All right. Well, then, everyone, please subscribe. Pass on the videos. Let's get some people knowing what's going on. I know you've done it before. Pass out the videos again. Get people, engage them, and getting over to see what's going on here. And we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Have a great night, Dan. Thanks so much.
All right, Tank. Yeah, well, good night, too.